name is Arie Laor, and I'm the founder, inventor, and the CEO of Breath of Health. Breath of Health developed a specific platform that is utilizing breath as a source for diagnosing different diseases. The platform basically takes the breath sample, turns it into an aerosol, so we get to analyze not only volatile molecules, but also wet molecules and large molecules, which allows us to get a lot of data from the breath and allows us to correlate it to a medical condition, to clinical data. So we've started off with 6 cancers in Israel, and currently we gathered enough information and enough patients in colorectal and breast cancer, where we've reached a predictive value of over 97%, which means that we can identify all kinds of cancer early on, up to an advanced stage, without making any terrible mistake, with the 97% precision and sensitivity of over 90%, except in breast cancer, where we don't have enough number, it's down to 88%. We have a team, a global team, most of it in Israel, some of it in Europe. Our CSO is based in Germany, and some of it in the US. We have 14 overall team members, 6 of them in Israel and 8 spread all over the world, as I've mentioned before. We base our analysis of the sample, breast sample, on correlation using sophisticated AI and machine learning models in order to get the best correlation to the clinical data. So when we analyze a breath, we can give prediction of several relevant clinical data relevant to the disease. In colorectal cancer, either it's a benign polyp or cancer already. In breast cancer, subtypes, precancerous conditions such as DCIS. We plan to broaden, after we finish the first registration processes, to broaden it to ovarian cancer and cervical cancer, focusing on women's cancer, and creating an availability at low cost of screening tests all over the world for less than $15 per test. So colorectal cancer p-value, I've mentioned, is currently at the same level of colonoscopy, which is the end test. Even in colonoscopy, the ability to detect some polyps is lacking compared to blood test, of course, and of course to fecal occult blood. It's non-invasive, very simple. The results is generated within 60 seconds, and the overall cost is less than $10. In breast cancer, basically, the predictive value is even better than mammography after a surgeon test, and definitely much better than blood tests, which are at 70% these days. It's non-invasive, same day, again. The results are generated within 60 seconds after we analyze the breath. The machine basically is a small tabletop machine, easily operated by a nurse. Currently, we are running a clinical study in Mount Sinai, Miami, where all the system is run by the nurse. The collection is done through an aluminum bag that you can see here in the picture. We connect the bag to our system, push the button, basically the screen will generate instruction what to do next, and after that, a report is generated and passed on to the physician, to the relevant physician. So far, we have the proof of concept on colorectal, on breast cancer, and we started the blinded phase in colorectal cancer in Israel. We completed ISO and etc. We have CE. We are running clinical studies, 3 clinical centers in Israel, 1 in the Mount Sinai, Miami, 1 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and 1 in Barcelona on lung cancer, where we were asked by Boehringer to provide data from a European hospital. We have a clinical study use case on colorectal, both colorectal and breast cancer with Harvard Medical School and Brigham Women's Hospital. So far, we raised $4.5 million, and basically we're looking now for $5 million as a mid-round between C to A. We have 2 patents already registered, one already accepted, and we are working on a 3rd patent and a 3rd system, which will cost and will be much more mobile than the current system we have. The market is basically growing each year, screening market, $18 billion in colorectal cancer, $13.9 billion in breast cancer. But most of what we are trying to do is to reduce the amount of colonoscopy that is done futurely. Currently, about 50% of all colonoscopy is without any positive results. And it's not a pleasant test. In breast cancer, mammography is less available in most areas, and it takes a long time to get accepted to mammography screening, and women consider it to be invasive. Our plan currently is to finish clinical studies in Israel, finish the clinical studies in the US and Europe in parallel to submission that we already plan to send next week to the FDA for colorectal cancer, and the submission for breakthrough unmet need for a fast track to get basically the registration approved within 18 months after providing the results that according to the plan that was presented already to the FDA. That's it. Thank you.
Arie, thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. Couple of quick follow-ups, if I could. The actual the point of care, the POC part, as you're doing the screening, where is that done? Is that done in the physician's office? Can it be done in like a mobile unit? How do you get it in front of as many people as you can, patient-wise?
Basically, it can be done in a pharmacy. It can be done in a mall. It can be done, the sample can be collected and analyzed at the same spot. I prefer to think that the results are not shared with the patient or the testee unless the results are okay. Because if the results are not okay, I prefer that the diagnostic, the full diagnostic, will be done with this physician.
You would think the industry, given the focus on preventative care or early detection, you would think there would be a strong interest in the healthcare community, whether it's the physicians themselves or the hospitals, in having this type of breadth of health device available in an effort to, you think of just the cost of healthcare in general. This is a way of really, as you said, not necessarily subjecting yourself to a colonoscopy or a mammogram, because you can get some early indications here through the use of your technology.
Look, in mammography, basically the numbers are not 78% of the women at risk or at the age of risk are invited for a mammography. Only 49% of them will go for mammography, and a third of the women with the breast cancer die of it, whereas the early detection gives you a 99% 5-year survival in breast cancer. And similar numbers are relevant for colorectal. Colorectal cancer, basically with the test in which the fecal local blood test, or FIR, you are sent to colonoscopy, and eventually 40% of the time they'll find something, and 60% of the time not. So a lot of people don't go for a colonoscopy. So again, the mortality is higher than anticipated because of the screening test. So what we are trying to do here is that you go to a colonoscopy only because you really need to go to a colonoscopy. So we enhance the use of colonoscopy where needed, and we reduce the use of colonoscopy when not needed, and the same for mammography.
Now, you've mentioned in one of your slides you had that you were published in the Lancet. What was the reaction to the article in the journal?
Basically, it was published in the Lancet, which means that it went through a peer review, but it was on COVID-19, so no relevance to cancer. But we are working on a new publication on colorectal cancer, and we are targeting Nature actually this time.
Okay, yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the Nature publication of late. People publishing studies in there as well. You had also down, you're doing some work with Brigham. That's up in Boston, I think, here, right?
Yeah, I'm working with the group in Harvard Medical School and Women's Brigham Hospital, and also some physicians in Dana-Farber on the use case. In what stage will they use the data? They expect to use the data, and a lot of other questions.
How about from a competition standpoint? What kind of competition might you have?
Look, there's plenty of new blood tests, microRNA out there, and some analysts see it as a competition. I don't think it's competition. I think it's a complementary data that can help get more data for personalized medicine, and it's very important, especially with dealing with cancer. So as much data as possible.
That's a great way to view it. Collaboration, empowerment of the patient, helping the physician get a good lead time or some good reconnaissance here, if you will, from like a screening or surveillance. The more you continue along your journey, again, from a community health standpoint or a population health standpoint, public health, this work sounds outstanding along those lines. Because again, you want to be in the community, you want people to do pre-screening, you want to avoid hospitalization, and you certainly want to avoid disease. So this sounds like a wonderful work that you're doing here. And you're looking for, you said the raise is $5 million?
The current raise is $5 million.
Current raise, okay. And you've already had some success here up until 4.5, you said, I think, right?
Yeah, those were the previous rounds.
Previous one. All right, well, terrific. Well, listen, Arie, thank you for joining us today at One Startup World. Great presentation. We wish you the best of luck going forward here with Breadth of Health. Please stay in touch with us and let us know how things are going, and if we can be helpful here in the future. This has been an information sharing conference here for us. We've had some experts, lots of like-minded entrepreneurs joining us, and some industry experts and potential investors. So we wish you the best of luck going forward. Okay, please stay in touch.
Thank you very much.
Good seeing you. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for joining us from San Francisco. Take care.
Take care.